Welcome to another edition of Access to the Arts. I'm Phil Quinn. Today, we get a sneak peek at the 915 Gallery, which the Richmond Art Museum is going to occupy while the rest of the museum gets a much-needed facelift. We'll also talk with John Cook from Richmond Civic Hall, and we'll revisit our conversation with Richmond Community Orchestra members Jay Connard and Ray Onko. Come on, let's take a look at the gallery. We're inside the 915 Gallery. Lance Crow is with us, the George and Peggy Rapp Education Director at the Richmond Art Museum. So this space is just tremendous, Lance, and this is just a temporary space for the Richmond Art Museum.
It is, that's correct. This is our location for this exhibit and our Holiday Art Mart. This is our 119th annual exhibition. It's the oldest juried contest in the state. And we didn't want to cancel that while the museum is undergoing major innovations. So we decided, let's see if we can find a space somewhere in Richmond that we can hold this exhibit. And this happened to be available, and it worked out extremely well. So we're very happy to be downtown.
The space is unbelievable, and to have it just temporarily, I think once the remodel's done at the museum, that this is going to be a space that could be used for a lot of different projects and different things too. How did that partnership come about?
Well, we reached out. We had heard of. We looked in the Depot District and we looked downtown while we were trying to figure this out, and we were approached by Ply, the owners of Ply, right next door. Yeah. And they said, "We've been doing a lot of work to this space. We'd like for you to come see it." We felt like this was a great fit once we saw the space. It's in the arts block of downtown. Room 912 from IU East is right across the street. Ply's next door. So we thought, hey, we're going to make this work.
Well, let's take a walk, and maybe there's some items that we can highlight as part of the art exhibit. Are all of the artists and the pieces of work from local folks?
So this show encompasses a 125-mile radius, or people who have lived in Richmond in the past but have moved away that are artists. They could submit work if they wanted to. So we're talking about a fairly wide range, but it's a regional art exhibition. So it goes over into Ohio, almost reaches Columbus, Dayton, Indianapolis. It's a wide range of artists. It was just a Richmond show initially for a long time, and then we've expanded that radius a bit as we've become more of a regional art museum.
There are sculptures, there are oils, there's photography.
Absolutely.
And even some ceramics and other stuff as part of this exhibit too.
Yeah, this encompasses all mediums. Basically, anyone who's working in any medium and wants to submit to this show, it's a great potpourri of artwork. There's mixed media, paintings, you name it, prints. There's furniture.
I did see that.
Yeah. So it's probably my favorite show of the year that we do, just from the diversity. You can see the wide range of talents that the artists have in our region.
Now, will the gallery have some normal business hours?
Yes. So when we open, which will be the opening of the annual exhibit on November 9th, we're not open until then in this space. We will be open Tuesday through Friday, 11 to 5:30. I have to get this right. 11 to 5:30, and then on Saturday 10 to 4. And then we'll be closed on Sunday, Monday.
Lance, this seems like the type of attraction that brings in not just artists from 125-mile radius, but actually bringing in people from that range to come and look at purchasing art, or at least doing that. Is that intentional? Is the idea to make this a more regional hub for these artists and the pieces of art that are on showcase?
Absolutely. I think that's a major part of it. We know that tourism is an important part of what we do, and so by reaching out into the surrounding region, we can draw people to Richmond. Maybe they're going to want to come back and stay for a weekend or something, check out some other things once they've seen us. But yeah, absolutely. There are art collectors not only in Richmond but in some of the major cities around, and even in the counties that are surrounding us, and we want to be available and a resource for all those folks. Because that's part of our mission is being a regional art museum and being a dynamic visual art player in this area. So.
It's really important to the history of this community is the supporting the arts, but also the kind of talent that we have here. This is an opportunity for people outside to maybe get familiar with people that are closer to our area too.
Yeah, well, see, it's just a great thing. That's a reason why artists enter juried shows, to see what their peers are doing, to be juried alongside of them, and to see where, okay, what do I need to do? How do I get better? The only way you're going to do that is to see your work next to somebody else. So
what's really neat also is that this is an opportunity for the Richmond Art Museum to be alive while you have remodeling going on. So that's an important thing too.
One of the major things we wanted to do was to make sure that the community knows that we are still very active during this time period of renewing our masterpiece over there.
Well, have structures, and you'll put something on it. I mean, that's okay. We're fine with that. That's wonderful.
Art will travel. That's right.
Richmond Art Museum is also busy with different classes. I know that there are new classes, everything from Photoshop to ceramics that start all the time. Once again, just give us some information on the best way for people to learn about some of those courses that are still happening.
Probably still the best way is to just visit the website, richmondartmuseum.org. We just had a ceramics class begin. We offer year-round classes and workshops. So that's your best bet. It's hopefully updated as frequently as we can when new things get on the schedule, and we're working on the year schedule for 2018.
Right.
So
Cork Canvas events. The cool thing is that because of the support of the community, a lot of these classes are very affordable. So people from all different walks of life can get in these classes and do it too.
I mean, we go from we try to cater to all skill levels and all economic backgrounds. We try to offer opportunities. Yeah, we have tuition-free art classes too for kids under 16 every Thursday. So we're hitting everywhere we can.
Well, encouraging people to find their creative outlet is a big part about what the Richmond Art Museum does. And you've got a lot of work still to do, I know, but it looks fantastic, and we wish you the best of luck on the opening.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
We continue here at the 915 Gallery and transfer from one form of creative arts to the other. We're going to talk about music. John Cook is back from Civic Hall and the Civic Hall Performing Arts Center, and civichall.com is the website. There's a lot of shows that are still coming up, John, and we were going to talk about the very first one out of the gate, Sons of Serendip. Now, this is a group that was on America's Got Talent.
That's correct. Season 9, we're excited to have them in. They do a lot of emotionally charged music. They do a lot of remix or remakes of current songs or songs that are familiar to a lot of our audience. And then they also do some of their own creations or adaptations, I guess, of their own music. And they're a harp player, a piano player, a cellist, and a really, really fine vocalist.
And they were runner-up in the season 9?
They were. They came in second.
That's unbelievable.
I know. So yeah, it's pretty exciting stuff.
That's good. Okay, so when is the concert?
That's November 4th, 7:30 p.m. Tickets are on sale. You can go to civichall.com, or you can call the Civic Hall and reserve your tickets, or you can come on in. We're open from 8 to 4 every day, except during school breaks.
Right. Now, also, Senior Opportunity Services has done a concert or a fundraising concert. They've invited the Ball State Singers in, and that's also going to be a performance at Civic Hall. That's
November 10th. That's Friday. Tickets are on sale for that with us at the Civic Hall box office and also at Infiniprint. they're selling tickets through their office.
Okay. And what's cool about that is some of the high school singers are going to be a part of that concert as
Right.
well.
That's the chamber singers are going to be there from Richmond High School. So they kind of share a concert. The Richmond Choir starts, and then the Ball State University Singers, they do their gig, their show, their touring show. So,
Good.
yeah.
Now, after that, then we also have the next concert that is coming up is the Trans-Siberian Orchestra Experience. I want to make sure I get that right.
That is correct. That's November 17th. That's also a Friday. Those tickets are on sale at Civic Hall box office. It's basically Trans-Siberian Orchestra only on a stage that fits like a performing arts stage like ours. This particular show was in Branson last year on their main stage for the Branson series, but they're bringing it out, and it's for those people that want to see the Trans-Siberian Orchestra just in a smaller situation.
Well, you're going to have the same kind of rocket experience,
Oh, it is.
and it's a visual component too.
Right.
And that concert's on the
Lasers.
17th.
On the 17th, they have lasers, they
Yeah.
have the lifts, they're going to float over the audience like the Trans-Siberian Orchestra. It's going to be cool.
It's going to be, yeah, that sounds like it's going to be a lot of
It's gonna
fun.
be really cool.
Finally, before we go, there also is a Christmas show. So as people are starting to plan their holiday festivities, put in the Celtic dancers as part of that mix.
Right. Celtic Angels Christmas is December 10th. Oh, I'm sorry, December 9th. It's a Saturday, December 9th, 7:30. They have also the Shiva Singers, which are Irish girl singers. Then they have the Celtic traditional dancing, and they also have male Celtic dancers. It's
Like a variety
It
show.
is. Only
Yeah.
it's going to have your holiday tunes that everybody knows as well. You know, "Wish You a Merry Christmas," all those kinds of things. But then they'll have the Irish flair to it. But it's going to be a really exciting Christmas show.
You've got to get your tickets. Some of these shows
Right.
are going to be sold out if you don't hurry. CivicHall.com. John Cook, the Executive Director of Civic Hall Performing Arts Center. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Welcome back to Access the Arts. We're joined with Jay Conard and also Ray Anko with the Richmond Community Orchestra. Jay, I want to talk a bit about a program and initiative that the Richmond Community Orchestra has been involved with for a while now. It's called the Strings Initiative. What is it, and how is the program reaching young adults?
Well, the Strings Initiative is a way to kind of introduce string instruments, especially to young people who may not have a chance to experience that. As many of you know, the Richmond High School has an orchestra. It's actually the oldest one in the country. They have a rich history, and they start them in sixth grade, and so we start them around fourth grade, fifth grade, just to kind of get them started. Mm-hmm. But we reach out to various children in the community. We started with Girls Inc., and we would go to their location. We would supply an instructor and the instruments, and they would get weekly instruction. What we normally do is we have an organization that we partner with. Right now we're doing like Amigos.
Oh, sure.
And then last year we did Townsend was one of them. We also do Boys and Girls Clubs. The Friends School, we're working with them also, along with Girls Inc. Girls Inc. was kind of our guinea pig. We started with them. We wanted to see how it worked. And we have a very good partnership with a store in Cincinnati called the Baroque Violin Shop. It turns out that the owner of that establishment actually is a Richmond native. And so he has a soft spot for Richmond and string education. So he helps supply the instruments for us. What we do is we start with a summer program, and we do a week of intensive, this is how you hold it, this is how you make sounds, and we work with them for a week, sometimes 2 weeks depending on the schedule that we have. And then those that are interested, we continue in the fall. To make it simpler and actually less bookkeeping for us, we supply the instructor, we supply the materials, and we supply the instrument. And so there is no cost at all to any of these children. We try to partner with these other groups so that we can use their facility and their kids. And so this is the 4th year we've done it with Girls Inc. And now this is the 2nd year that we have expanded to other groups, and it's really working well. The current teacher at Richmond Schools, Lauren Gruber, is one of our main instructors, and she sees already the improvement in her students when she starts them. She can tell the students who know how to open the case and hold it and make that first sound, and they're actually helping other students in her class. We also support at the Arts Place in Hagerstown. We have a member of the orchestra, Anita Krull, who has been teaching up there for several years. And that group, she does anywhere from 5-year-olds to 95-year-olds. She is doing string instruction, and we support her, and we help wherever we can there.
That sounds amazing, because so often what we hear about are budget constraints with schools and programming that can get cut or limited in some way. But to have an organization like the Richmond Community Orchestra that isn't restricted by school boundaries or who's paying tuition, but can invite anyone in, and then to be able to offset some of the cost, I got to think that, I mean, this is a ripple effect that is it just makes you feel good.
Yeah, and while it would be wonderful if all these students would continue with string education and continue on, that's not really the main goal. The main goal is to expose them to this. If you would ask an audience who goes to our concert or even a symphony concert, how many in that audience played an instrument in school? Probably 95% would say yes. And so we're actually trying to build an audience so that these kids, when they grow up, will say, I know how hard that is to do that, and I can appreciate what they're doing.
Yeah.
And so come and listen.
Well, to respect the instrument, to respect someone's talents, to recognize it. I mean, we can all clap and applaud when we find something that is amazing to us. But to actually say, do you know how hard it is to actually hold an instrument and get it to play on key? Is really neat. The Strings Initiative. Yeah. How can people find out more if there's someone watching the program and they would like to involve their kid? What do they need to do?
You can come to our website, rcoindiana.org. And we have a special place on the website just for information about the Strings Initiative program.
Well, it sounds fantastic and a big part of the community. Before we go, there's another concert that is happening the end of November. Share the details of that concert with us.
That's on November 26th. It's at 3:30. It's at Goddard Auditorium on the campus of Earlham College. It's free. Anybody can come. Jay can say a little bit about what's on the program.
Yes, that's kind of our holiday concert.
Yeah.
That's the Sunday right after Thanksgiving. And
Going to help us get right into the spirit. I love it.
Exactly. And joining us will be the Eaton Area Community Choir, which is a volunteer choir in Eaton, Ohio. And we will do a lot of holiday music, some music from a musical version of A Christmas Carol, Scrooge, that came out several years ago. We're actually doing a little excerpt from Ben-Hur, the movie. At the beginning, they show kind of the nativity scene, and the orchestra and the choir is oohing and things in the background, and they'll be doing that. Selections from the Messiah by Handel, so the Hallelujah chorus and things like that. Plus a lot of traditional Christmas music and just some fun stuff to listen to.
How soon do rehearsals start for a concert that's going to be coming up? I mean, in the early part of the fall, are you starting to play some holiday music to get ready?
We rehearse from the Monday after Labor Day until about the 4th of July, end of June. And so the music that are for these two concerts, the October concert that we just had and the November concert that's coming up, start in the first week of September.
Wow, it's fantastic.
Yeah, and sometimes, we may only have 4 or 5 rehearsals for a concert. So we try to get the music to them a little earlier so they can look at
Right.
it.
It's one of those situations. I remember in college never being good at this, coming to class prepared. That you got to work some on your own. But I guess that shows the commitment of what these performers and musicians are doing with the Richmond Community Orchestra. Last thing before we go, what does it mean for this community to have a program, an organization like Richmond Community Orchestra, or a program that supports the arts, our community that supports the arts in our area? How important is supporting the arts for sustainability of a community?
I believe that this is an important tool for even economic development. We have one member who has since left the community, but was a French horn player, and being able to come to a town in which there was a symphony orchestra and at which she could play her French horn was a key selling point for her and her husband, a physician at the local hospital.
Wow.
So it's an important part of attracting talent to our community. I think it also simply enriches the life of everyone here in the community to be able to attend free performances or to participate in the orchestra.
Well said.
Yes, and the Richmond community is very blessed to have a high school string program that, as I said earlier, is the oldest in the country, continuous. To have a professional symphony here, the Earlham Symphony, is a outstanding group. The Civic Theater puts on shows with a live pit. We fit right into that whole fabric, and it's great. We have one young lady who's playing with us now who is from Japan. She is here for a year working, and she joined us. And so sometimes we get people that are moving in and out, but we get, we have doctors and lawyers and students, retirees. We get a lot of people who just want to stay active in the arts.
That's good. Jay Connard, musical director, conductor for the Richmond Community Orchestra. Ray Onko on the board and also performer, musician with the Community Orchestra. Thank you both for being a part of our program today.
Thank you.
The Wayne County Foundation has announced the organization selected to participate in its 2017 Challenge Match Initiative. The Challenge Match offers 49 nonprofit organizations throughout the Wayne County community the possibility of generating unrestricted operating support, with the foundation matching qualified gifts received in the donation time period. Some of those organizations selected include the Richmond Art Museum, Richmond Community Orchestra, Richmond Shakespeare Festival, and Richmond Symphony Orchestra. Additionally, the Overbeck Museum, Cambridge City Public Library, the Richmond High School Music Boosters, Richmond Parks and Recreation, Richmond Rose Garden, and Star Jeanette Foundation are some of those that are part of the Challenge Match program. It kicks off Monday, November 6th and runs for 8 days through Monday, November 13th. Qualifying contributions to the participating organizations will trigger matching funds from the foundation with respect to certain criteria. Contributions can also be made online through the foundation's website.
Thanks again to Lance Crow, John Cook, and our previous conversation with Richmond Community Orchestra members Jay Conard and Ray Onko. That's going to wrap up this edition of Access to the Arts. When you see the video on our Facebook page, go ahead and share it and have some fun. And thank you again for joining us. We'll see you next time.